Hello, good afternoon. My name is Małgorzata Kurzępa. I'm a founder and director of Fairhouse Investments, the company which invests in properties in UK for over 8 years and 10 years altogether. Every Sunday afternoon around 1 p.m., I'm coming to you with another subject somehow connected to investing in properties. And I'm trying not to bore you, so they are not too long, usually not longer than 20 minutes. The same or similar would be today. To be honest, it's difficult to judge, so I'm trying to do my best. Anyway, today I wanted to tell you a little bit about the thing that about the subject which is not too many people mention it, because it's not like a separate strategy, but it's part of each strategy I use in my business. Currently, I have buy-to-let properties. I also have rent-to-rent service apartment. So, but buy-to-let is the basic strategy I use. So what I wanted to tell you about today is you can call it remote investing. So how to invest in a property if you live far away from this property, or the other way around, if you live in a place where you, for some reason, you cannot buy the property and you cannot invest in the place where you live, how to build your business around investing far away from home. So if you think about investing in properties or starting investing in properties, usually there are two ways how people start their investing. The first one is most popular for people who haven't built their credit score yet. So they usually sometimes they rent a room in HMO, or they they have friends, or they know people who rent rooms in HMO. They realize that if you rent the whole room, the whole house, the price would be lower than if you rent a house per rooms. So it's not difficult to come to the idea that if you rent a house from someone in a system rent to rent, and then re-let it per room to a single people or to couples, then you will have there would be still some money left. So plenty of people, when they realize that, they rent a house from someone, turn it into HMO, or they rent something that is already an HMO if it needs a license, or they rent properties, for example, like below 4 bedrooms, which the properties which in most places don't need a license for HMO. Anyway, they rent these houses and they relet them per rooms. It's a great strategy for the beginners. This strategy needs plenty of time, but you don't need to invest too much money. And of course, if you're a real beginner, a real newbie, you can just move into this house. You rent it for your own name. You move into this house. You occupy one of the rooms, and then you relet other rooms. So you live there. You have full control on what is going on in the properties. So despite having very little experience, you just control everything on a regular basis. And then you decide about the rules. So you could decide who's taking care of rubbish today, who's cleaning the bathroom or kitchen, whatever. You make your own rules, and the tenants have to follow. You have to remember, tell them before they rent the room from you. So this is the first strategy. The second strategy is something that is more popular for people who already have some savings for deposit and they have good credit score. So these people usually look around their neighborhood. They find a nice 2 or 3 bedroom property. They buy it, so they put a deposit, and then they take a buy-to-let mortgage. And they rent this property to a nice family which likes stable situation, nice neighborhood, and they just move into the property and they stay there for a long time. So this is the way I use when I purchase my first property. It means I purchased the property in the place where I used to live when I lived there then. So I also use help from I knew the neighborhood, so I knew which location is the best for the property. I had plenty of friends, so they helped me a little bit with renovation and things like this at the beginning. So it wasn't that difficult. It was like I started with like baby steps, and this is what usually people do at the beginning. But my second property, I purchased. You can say it's been booked in advance because I had tenants who wanted a property in particular place. So despite of me not knowing the neighborhood and not knowing the place, they found the property and they said they will rent this property from me. So I purchased this property, I renovated it, and I rented to these particular tenants, and they stay there for, I don't remember, 3 years or something. Later, after these 3 years, I already have an experience. I knew people around, so it was easier, very easy actually to rent it, to find new tenants. But at the first moment, I didn't know anything about the neighborhood, about this place. So of course I did my due diligence, but I felt safe because the tenants wanted the property anyway. We agreed the price, we agreed the level of refurbishment, so everything was set. But I live in London, and I love London. This is my little place on earth, at least for now. So I don't want to move away from here. So I could easily say, the properties in neighborhood are too expensive. This is not for me. Or I could say, I don't want to invest outside because whatever, I don't know. So, but I decided to go for the only option I had, which is remote investing. So I'm using help from other people who helped me to find a property, who helped me to find power team, and who helped me, of course, later renovate, find tenants. But all these places are far away from my home. Do I have to go there? Yes, I have to go there. At the beginning, I realized that actually at the beginning you should go there every weekend before the project is ready and rented. But the truth is that I could using remote investing, I could follow my strategy, which is investing in properties which are buy-to-let properties in nice, friendly neighborhood, not too posh, just a nice place with good schools around, which are rented to nice families, which are ready to pay for the good quality, but they don't want anything extra posh. These people know the value of their money. They don't want to overpay. They just want to have good quality for their money they worked hard for. So I usually don't spend more than £100,000 per property. And usually I leave not more than 15 to 20,000 pounds in the property after refurbishment and remortgage. You can tell me I could get a better deal. Probably I could. But another aspect of my strategy is that I'm building my portfolio to get stable passive income, almost passive income from it. So I'm not interested in doing great deals. Recently, I listened to a Property Hub podcast where Rob and Rob said that it's better to do a good deal now than look for a perfect one and find it in 5 years' time. If you know what I mean, it's better to build your stable portfolio on a regular basis, even if not every deal is a great deal, than waiting for the perfect one, and then after a while you realize that you have money on your bank account, you have your good credit score, and you haven't done anything with it. So this is part of my strategy, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I'm buying properties outside London. If you want to know the location of my properties, you can go to my website, which is www.fairhouseinvestments.co.uk, and you will find my properties there, and you will find the locations where they are. Another reason why I'm investing remotely and why I'm investing outside London is that I want my time back, or the thing I'm short of is time. I'm still working full-time job, and before the pandemia, I had my little and nice status quo in my job. So I was working there 3 days a week. One day I was working in another place where I had different colleagues, slightly different kind of work. I was paid in a different way. And one day I had 4 properties only, plus weekend, of course. But then pandemia came, I was in lockdown, I stayed at home. And now when I came back to work, apparently the situation changed completely at the market. And unfortunately, I have to work 5 days a week and I have to travel far to work. So when I add my 10 hours daily work plus 2 hours of over 2 hours of driving, it's more than 12 hours outside the house, which doesn't leave me too much time for investing in properties. So I had to reorganize my life. And this is another very important thing. If you have to be ready for changes. You know, the changes will come. You have to reorganize yourself, maybe change the strategy, maybe just adjust a little bit. You have to be open for changes. Actually, I have to tell you, the time is the thing that each investor is each investor is time poor, so everybody is trying to do something to save more time. So if I will be if I want to invest locally, it won't be difficult for me to buy anything in London because I just can't afford it. But buying outside, perfect strategy, and believe me, it works very well for me. So could it work? Yes, I'm a great example, true example that investing outside the place where you live, so remote investing, really, really works. But there are a few rules you have to follow. First of all, before you start, you have to be prepared. Theoretically, if you don't have an experience, do as much as you can, means read books, listen to podcasts, watch webinars, buy courses, go for networking events. Do as much as you can to gain plenty of knowledge. Are there any shortcuts? Yes. There is a tricky shortcut because you can actually you can find a mentor and follow him, and he will probably help you find a proper investment and invest. But the thing is that if you want someone who will give you as much time to help you invest, if you don't have a knowledge at all, then you will have to pay plenty of money for it. So I think in general, it's not worth it. Believe me, it's much better to prepare yourself. If you have an experience, as I said, you will have this knowledge, but at the beginning, just get as much knowledge as you can. Second thing, I know nobody would do anything as good as you do. You probably are the best in what you would be the best in what you're doing because it would be your best interest to make things right, well. But remember that, again, your time is valuable. So if you have to steal this time from something else that brings you more money, it's better to hire someone or delegate the work to someone to make them make things good or right. Maybe not perfect, but they are done, and most of the time you don't have to worry about them anymore. Third thing, trust experts. If you want to invest in properties in general, it's not only about remote investing, but of course, I mean, all these rules are generally for investing in properties, but they're extremely important in remote investing. You have to find experts and trust them. If their level of expertise is something beyond yours, for example, if you hire, solicitor or broker, you cannot check what they're actually doing. So in this case, you just use people who are referred to you or who have just good references. But for example, sourcers or builders, you can check what they're doing. You could ask them to show you previous portfolio or previous case studies. If the sourcer is sending you a deal opportunity, just check all the numbers by yourself. You don't have to trust him. You could go to Rightmove, other website, check the prices of the properties, check the rental prices, and so on. So it will give you trust. it would help you to trust them, and it will build a relationship for the future. And of course, next time when you will be buying deal from the same source, you don't have to check everything. You don't have to check the person too much. Remember, it's always worth to check because people change, situations change, but it wouldn't take you as much time as at the beginning. You always have to have a plan B and plan C because things are changing. Again, this is a general rule, but especially important in remote investing because there would be things you miss at the beginning. I won't lie to you that if you prepare, you would be prepared for everything. It's just not possible because things happen, situation changes, circumstances changes, and we have to be ready for change. And we always need plan B. And in remote controlling, I strongly advise you to have plan C in place as well. The last thing, again, very important in each investing is to have a group of friends, a group of investors around you. It's very important because they not only will support you mentally and psychologically, they would also help you if you get into trouble or if you have any problem or issue with your property or around the property. I know we all have friends and families, and believe me, it's very good if they know what you're doing because you can support them with an advice, and if you need money, they could lend you money if you would be in such a situation, or they could invest in your company. But the thing is that if you speak to someone who's not really interested in properties, there is no need to tell them that, for example, I don't know, you have problems to get a mortgage recently. This is not their problem. Such problems are to discuss with your colleagues, investors, not with the family members. So first, build a group of support around yourself. Second thing, be careful who you talk to. So the conclusion, is it possible to invest remotely? Yes, of course it's possible. Could you do it from zero level? No, you can't. You have to be prepared. And are there any shortcuts? To be honest, as I said, you can try a mentor, but I still think you have to represent a certain level of expertise, even if you want to go for something new with mentors. So think about it. Don't afraid of it. I think everyone can do it. It's just you just have to be prepared, and that's it. So I wish you a wonderful Sunday. In my place it's still raining, so I'm sorry for this. I hope maybe in your place the weather is slightly better. If you miss any of my movies or any of my videos, you can go to my channel on YouTube, which is called Fair House Investments, and all the videos I've already recorded are there. I think now it's like 20 videos. And as I said, they are all connected somehow to investing in properties. So if you're interested in subjects, they are all available there for free. So you can go and watch them wherever you want or whenever you are free. So thank you very much. Have a great afternoon, and bye-bye. It was Małgorzata Kurzępa, Fair House Investments.